Alright, I'm Maka, I'm a third year in history and politics student. I'm standing with the BAM slate of Bex, Anthony and myself. Like many of you here, you've had a great time at Hope, but more could and should be done to make it a much better experience for us all. The area of mental well-being is an issue that seriously needs tackling. Instead of well-being weeks or days, I propose we have a constant visible campaign, not just on campus but online as well. We need drastic improvements with more visible advice and information so students know that the SU is there for them in their time of need. As well as tackling the stigma of mental health issues, we need to tackle the causes of these issues. Research has showed that the majority of mental health issues are caused by stress and issues relating to housing and finance. So we need to improve on those things of housing and finance. We need to improve the information given to first years with more housing fairs, more housing information days, and improved website which is dedicated to advising students on housing and issues involving that. I also propose that first years are given the opportunity to have the second and third years to come to the housing viewings with them so they know what questions to ask, they know what to look for, so it improves their chances in housing, so they get the affordable and secure houses that they need to. I also think we need to give advice and help for third years, because there's a transition period for third years who are going into buying housing, so they need to be prepared for things like council tax, mortgages, buying houses. They need this information for them. Another issue that I propose that needs to be tackled is the tampon tax on campus. I propose we remove VAT on sanitary products, showing solidarity with other student unions such as Sheffield, East Anglia and Sussex, who have already removed this scandalous tax, which is an outrageous attack on women. So let's next week, let's make these pledges a reality. Let's have 3 votes for BAM. Thank you.
Can I have Barbara to the front, please?
This is hard. Hello everyone, my name is Barbara. I'm a first year student and I'm a woman. I have to deal with rape culture, misogyny and the constant fear that I'm going to become one more number in the violence against women's statistics. But it's not just women who suffer. People of color, people with disabilities, members of the LGBT community, immigrants, the list goes on. That's why I want to work close with the community to bring everyone physical and mental safety. I do not want anyone to feel embarrassed for being different from the norm. I want everyone to embrace what makes you, well, you. And as a Vice President of Community and Welfare, you can be sure that I will help you and support you every step of the way until you accept yourself. I am also an immigrant who had to pay more than anyone else to be here. Bex mentioned that you pay 9 grand, I pay 11. I have no loans. And yes, the government puts work restrictions. So God forbid I can actually earn enough to pay all my bills. But you have it easier than me. But how easier it is really? According to my friends, not much. How many of you could, how many of you ever worried in a lecture about how much money you had, about your house, about paying your rent? I'm not exaggerating. I had a friend asking me a couple weeks ago, should I get the bus home or should I pay for my tea? Should I walk half an hour in the cold so I could eat, or maybe I could just eat tomorrow? I've been there a few times since I moved to this country too. But I do not want you to worry about this anymore. I want to find ways to help you through your money worries, because we all had them and we're always going to have them unless, well, we win the lottery or get like a really good job. Hello people in politics. I want you to come for me for help, and I will help you. I will worry for you so you don't have to do it anymore. I will look for ways to help you. I am a fighter. I have to be, and I want to fight for you all. You can ask my girls at the Feminist Society. If something is not working or someone is not pulling their weight, I will call them out on it. I'm gonna fix it. And if I make a mistake myself, I'm gonna be the first one to admit it. I make sure there are changes. And you can call me helpful and silly, like you call every first year student, because I heard you all saying. But isn't it time to have someone helpful, hopeful and silly to try and change? Because if you do not believe what you're trying to change, how can you believe yourself? Thank you.
Kira to the front, please.
Hey folks, she's alright. I'm Kira and I'm 21 and from Northern Ireland. I'm a student standing for the VP Welfare and Community. I study sport and physical education. During my time at Hope, I've been an active member of the women's rugby team, which started my involvement and gave me an insight into our union. I have had help from previous VP Welfare and Community officers, which has showed me the positive effect the union can have on a student's life, which is what I want to do if elected. I'm passionate about making sure students are supported within their mental and physical well-being at uni. The main focus of my campaign, the main three focuses of my campaign are show me the money, we're students and broke, just keep swimming, keeping your head above the water, and this one time at banter camp, I was pressured into something I didn't want to do. So show me the money. The government has increased our tuition fees and cut our grants, and we are faced with unaffordable rent. We need support to manage money and get the best accommodation available. You can count on Kira to ensure Hope has a housing fair with dependable landlords to ensure you get the right support in finding affordable, top quality housing. You can count on Kira to campaign to end hidden transport, housing and study costs to ensure you get the most for the pound in your pocket. You can count on Kira to ensure you can find healthy, cheap food on a budget, and that food on campus is at student-friendly prices. Just keep swimming. Every student at Hope should be able to thrive within our small community. You can count on Kira to work with our diverse community, to ensure that everyone is represented and has the best possible experience, including those BME, disabled, women and LGBT+ students. Count on Kira to increase awareness of SU Advice Centres and the Liverpool Student Homes housing support to ensure that you know where you can go if you're having trouble. And you can count on Kira to increase information on both campuses about mental, physical and sexual health, including consent and access to advice and counselling services. This one time at banter camp, banter culture, or as it's more commonly known as lad culture, is being carried out by students at Hope, and this is being labelled as fun. Count on Kira to address this banter and lad culture, peer pressure and bullying, making sure that it's easier for you to anonymously report incidents. Count on Kira to make more alcohol-free, accessible events for everyone, working with diverse groups of students to provide something for everyone. And you can count on Kira to increase awareness of safety on nights out, from drinking and drug taking to unprotected sex, and make sure that you know where to go on a night out if you're having trouble. Thank you.
Ayo to the front, please.
Hello everybody. It's almost exactly 1 year ago I stood in front of a group similar to this and basically tried to persuade you guys that I was the best person for the job for Vice President of Welfare and Community. Some things have changed, but I think the important things haven't. I'm still not fussy about how you pronounce my name, and I'm still fussy about my students' union. So in that sense, ain't a damn thing changed. I think our students' union should be leading on championing student rights and equality and diversity as well. And like some people have touched on before, that's not just about treating everyone the same, it's also about respecting difference and acknowledging that people with different needs actually need different approaches. Also last year, one of the pledges that I made was that I would stand up for students when they were treated unfairly. And this year, I've not hesitated to get involved in awkward conversations with the university where students may have done some wrong. In some cases, students haven't done anything wrong. And the university have got this idea in their head of the action that they think is appropriate to be taken. And I've stood up for students to defend them whenever I thought this action was unfair. I've made sure that due process was followed. And I've also represented students by writing references, for example, to people very high up in the university. Another one of the pledges I made last year was that I would promote health generally, but specifically mental health as well. And I've done that a lot this year. I'll run through another two of the pledges I made as well. The next one was that I would build on community relations, and also that we would increase the regularity of our forums so that we would be held to account as sabbatical officers. I'm glad to say that I have made progress on all of those points, all of those promises that I made to you guys, that convinced hundreds of you to vote me in last year, and I hope you believe that the same can be done again. Particularly on mental health promotion, I've worked tirelessly to make sure that this is at the top of the agenda, not just at the Students' Union, but in the university as well. I'm trying to really make sure that mental health is no longer a taboo subject that we can't talk about, and trying to promote the idea that all of us have mental health the same way that we have physical health. And if you needed a band-aid on your toe, that should be just as important as you needing counselling because you're feeling anxious about life at university. I've also worked hard to promote what I think has been a successful part-time officer election, and this ties in with my pledge of promoting volunteering opportunities, because while a lot of you guys don't recognise it, people like our part-time officers, sport captains and the like, and people on different committees are volunteers, and we need to really treasure that opportunity and use that to our advantage when it comes to things like what we already mentioned, like employability. But I also recognise that with us having these volunteering opportunities, the support needs to be there as well, and I think that's lacking at the moment, and I'll work hard to make sure that that's rectified. Thank you very much.
Megan to the front, please.
Hi everyone, thanks for coming. I'm Megan, as the giant letters on the screen will tell you, and I'm running for VP Welfare. I am currently the BME officer, and I am also the president of the LGBT Society, which I started this year because the elected officer wasn't really making his presence on campus felt, so I feel like I'm qualified to say that I have been involved with the minority groups on this campus, and I do know at least a little bit about how to make sure that their needs are met. I've placed an enormous value on intersectionality. I think everyone in this university deserves to be represented, whether they fall into one liberation campaign, two liberation campaigns, or no liberation campaigns. God, I'm really not good at public speaking, sorry. I do paperwork, guys, that's what I do. I'm also a big proponent of free education. I think it's ridiculous that we have to spend £9k a year, plus extra, to get an education that lasts and practically demands we have if we want to succeed in the world. And I'll continue the student union fight to give us free education. And I think that societies and sports teams deserve more opportunities to get money through forum and stuff. I'm actually not feeling well today. Sorry guys, I should probably have stayed home. My manifesto doesn't say anything about mental health because, and this is a little bit embarrassing, I thought it would be a bit like saying I'll continue to make sure our buildings have roofs on them. I'm a psychology student, mental health is enormously important to me, and I will do my best to ensure that mental health services continue and improve at this university, including reducing the stigma, which is one of the biggest problems I think people with mental health issues have to deal with. I'm here because I believe that student union is important, and I believe I can make it better, even if my speech-making skills might suggest otherwise. I'm here because I believe in intersectionality. I believe that everyone should have a voice, and I believe I can help provide that. So, thanks, guys.